Oh, yeah.
Hello, we got there in the end.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I definitely think Zoom is easier to work than Teams, but
Yeah, no, it is as well. And the thing is with Teams, unless you use a Windows computer, I use an Apple computer, so
uh,
it's only built for them, really, isn't it? So,
yeah.
but yeah, how's it sort of been in general for you on the equity release front since we last
It's
spoke?
slow, really. Very slow.
Yeah,
Which obviously I look to would like to do a lot more on that.
yeah, right, okay.
I'm really looking for some sort of help, I suppose.
So wait, sorry.
Looking for some sort of, see what sort of help I can get to
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
with my
confidently.
lead coming in.
Switch camera angle now.
That's better. I
Right.
was looking at you, but I was on the camera coming from running
Yeah.
off the laptop. So yeah.
So I was having a look through your website and things before as well. I couldn't see it sort of openly advertised anywhere that you offer equity release. Is that right?
Yeah, I did have the website rebuilt last year. Not quite sure what happened to the guy that was doing it. He was very positive at the start, and then just seemed to sort of disappear on me. I did speak to him last week, and he did say he'd had some time off. Didn't really explain why. I
Oh
was
wow.
gonna. The website was basically built except for the equity release bit, so he's getting on with that.
Yeah.
I joined the equity release council as well. Last couple of weeks, just thought that might help.
Yeah.
Um, and I was looking to put an advert in like a local magazine that they just sort of put to the door around here.
Just out
Um,
of curiosity, how much were they sort of offering to charge you for that?
for the magazine or for the
Yeah,
web.
for the magazine.
For the magazine, it's not expensive. Half page is £95. It's a quarterly magazine,
Yeah.
so which is I've got a copy.
And I assume that's sort of geared for elderly people, is it, that magazine or?
Well, it's just generally for the postcode area. It's called the NR8, so it looks a bit like that. You can see that.
Oh, right, okay.
Generally, it's mostly adverts with a few advertorials and things in it.
Yeah.
But out of the three ones that come through, certainly one of the ones that I tend to
Yeah.
stays longer out of the bin than the others.
Yeah.
So, and other people I know who have advertised in it, sort of local tradesmen, so they did okay with it. So, and
Yeah.
£95 is relatively cheap, isn't it?
Yeah, it what I found in the past with sort of things like that, the hit and miss. Some of them do get a few leads, some of them, almost virtually nothing. So,
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see how that worked for you. I think you could definitely get some results off that. But in this day and age, if you were to put £95 into the likes of Facebook, you're going to get much better results for that. So yeah, we got over that today anyway. But first of all, I just wanted to sort of just find out where you're sort of currently at, just so I can figure out what would be the best strategy to go forward with yourself, and to see if we can help you essentially.
Okay. In terms of what then? What in terms of volume? What in terms of what I'm doing?
Yeah, no, everything. So as of right now, how many sort of cases are you doing on a monthly basis, would you say,
The
roughly?
lifetime mortgage cases.
Yes.
Yeah, it's hardly any. So it's I think I'm probably getting about one inquiry a month, something like that.
Yeah. And with that, do you usually, when you do that person inquires, is it like a pretty high conversion rate of them becoming taking it out, or sort of?
Uh, I think it is if they're ready to go. So I've had a few. I had one, had one earlier this month where she's husband's in a care home, and she's worried about what's going to happen if she loses sort of his side of the income and stuff like that. She seemed to think she's got an interest-only mortgage with Halifax at the moment. She seemed to think she might not be able to do anything while she's in the care home because it has some joint names. And she'll say we had a good chat and gave her some general advice and sent her some information, but it looks like I'll be coming back to that perhaps in 6 months' time. I could try and switch the Halifax bit now, but she said she couldn't raise any extra, but she probably wants to raise some extra, so
Yeah.
better off waiting until he dies and then assuming that the care home don't nick it, which I don't think
Yeah.
they will be able to. She'll refinance out of Halifax. She's on there for standard variable rate, so it's not going to be penalised,
Yeah.
and get her some cash to do things with. So
Yeah.
that'll probably come around. I've got another one where there's a slight issue with the property. I'm trying to investigate. I'm struggling to get a structural engineer out to look at it. The client was in the building game. Seems to think it's not that important, but like surveyors can be quite worrying sometimes, can't they? So they were sort of that's on hold till we can find someone to resolve it. So I've had things like that. I've just held them up, and then mainly other than that, I just had sort of existing customers asking for a little bit more money, so further advances really.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
But I'd say my conversion rate is pretty high when I get to speak to them. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty conversant in the subject, and I know I do a lot of mortgages. So I know how to deal with people, so I haven't got an issue with.
No, I can tell. Yeah. No, that's good. And just at the moment, are you currently charging for equity release, or
I'm
do you
not at all, no. So we
no
don't
fee?
charge more mortgages, so not charging.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And I believe you're at club level with Air, are you? Or yeah.
I'm at Select. Is it Select? Yeah,
Are
Select.
you're a select guy,
Yeah.
so you should be getting roughly 3.5% prop fee.
I think I'm getting about 3%.
3%, yeah.
Lower volumes to qualify for that. I think
Yeah.
probably under the volumes to qualify for it, but they let me have it anyway. So
Yeah, well, select's one of the highest tiers, isn't it? So that's for high volume.
yeah, well, I was doing a few more. I had a girl that was working for me who would pick up some leads, but she's moved on to become an IFA,
Yeah.
and she do that to them. And I had another IFA that used to refer work to me, but they merged with another practice who had somebody in house that did it. So
Yeah.
I lost a couple of resources like that. So that's sort of taken me in a growing market. Whilst it should be growing, I feel like it's going backward, not going the right way, really. Which is
Yeah.
I'd love to do more and more of these. I like doing them, so I know they're obviously profitable, but I just actually enjoy them a bit more less stressy than normal mortgages. So.
Yeah. No, I'm confident we can help you with that, definitely. So yeah, so at the moment you're getting one inquiry a month. Where are you sort of looking to get it to then the next 12 months?
I'd like to. Well, it depends on how possible it is. I mean, I'd rather do this than normal mortgages. So I've got time, and ultimately I'd divert my resources to this really. So
Yeah.
people are going to be obviously down to the cost and stuff, but
Yeah. So you would be looking to sort of
want,
more into equity release rather than the residential side. Yeah.
yeah, I prefer to do that.
So have you got a rough figure where it would sort of be comfortable for you to switch to that? Like how many cases a month you need to be doing?
Well, I could easily do, 20, 30 cases a month
Yeah.
without any major changes to what I'm doing now. I could do more than that if I had to, but I could easily do that without any sort of major alteration to my current business model. So
Yeah. Like lifetime mortgage cases, that is, yeah.
lifetime mortgage cases, yeah.
So you could handle 20 to 30 on your own, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And as of right now, you're directly authorized, Leo.
Yeah, directly authorized.
So does that mean for you then you would be able to do the whole sort of process from initial appointment to end over to a Teams meeting or Zoom meeting or anything like that? Or?
So in terms of, what do you mean?
So when we move to sort of digital advertising stuff, some of them might not be necessarily close to you in terms of location. So would you be able to do the whole process over, phone calls?
Yeah, generally I'm okay with Zoom. So I'm very good with Zoom generally. Just Teams I seem to struggle with a little bit on, as we've just seen. But I've done a few over Zoom since we had lockdown. It's become a bit more comfortable. Perhaps would have always gone for a physical meeting for that, but I have got another introducer in Spalding, which sort of goes right into Lincolnshire, and he gives me a bit of work. Not massive amount, 3 or 4 year off him.
Yeah.
But they tend to be, they're normally at least an hour and a half drive from here. So the more of those I do, Zoom and phone. And I think even the older people are getting quite comfortable with it. Some of them don't even particularly want you in their house, they don't. They're sort of more worried about meeting a stranger. They'd rather deal with it electronically. So yeah, I don't mind travelling either. In the past I've gone down to London, which is a good 2 to 3 hours from here. If there's a case, as long as the case size is big enough, or potentially big enough.
Yeah, of course. No, yeah. You've answered my question myself. Yeah, if it's big enough, you'd be willing to travel, of course.
Yeah, I had something linked to it, which was, it's like nearly 2 hours away, and they'd already been pre-qualified it down to about a 20 grand deal. It's like, I'll do it over Zoom but I won't, or phone, but I won't go there. But if it's a 400 grand mortgage, I'll I go to bloody Scotland, won't I? You know, so
Yeah, go to John O'Groats for that one. No, in terms of that, then yeah, so that's good. So you can do it over that because the thing is, if you sort of looking to do 20, 30 cases sort of predictably every month, then yeah, realistically, you're not going to be able to get all them cases in a nice geographical location that's close to you. Likely going to be whole of England or potentially whole UK.
I think 20 to 30 probably are not. We're more likely 10 to 20. I'd thought that. So,
Yeah. Okay.
I do about 20 normal mortgages a month at the moment.
Yeah.
So, and I don't use admin support or anything like that. So they're all things I can bring in if I need to. I've had them in the past.
Yeah. So what would that look like then for you if you were doing, should we say 10 to 20 cases a month? Would you bring any admin in or would it just be you still?
I think it would depend on the level of other business I'm getting in than normal mortgages. I think if I was doing 20 lifetime mortgages and still doing 20 residential mortgages, well, yeah, I need some admin support. I think that wouldn't be feasible. So
Yeah. Okay. So really, you're sort of looking to switch the majority of your sales volume to X2 lease, aren't you, rather than residential, eventually. So in respect to that, then, what have you tried already to generate inquiries? I know obviously you mentioned
I haven't really tried anything. I've run an odd advert in a magazine before. Didn't really get anything, but that was in the middle of as we went into COVID period, so whether that was. And also, I think looking back at the advert, it wasn't a particularly good advert. I don't think so.
Oh, right, okay. And that didn't generate any inquiries at all for you?
Didn't generate anything at all. No, no.
Yeah, to be honest, it doesn't surprise me. Like I see on when people try social media and Google and Facebook and things like that, they'll put a typical piggy bank with a £20 sticking out of it and go, "We offer equity release, ring us here," and it just doesn't work like that. No one's going to sort of respond to that because a lot of these platforms, people aren't on to get sold to, and they can see an ad a mile off. So as soon as they see it, they just ignore it. So the sort of key to them is to make them so they look almost native to the platform and look, very natural, and don't use stock images and things like that, and just write something that's going to actually sort of play on the emotional drivers of why someone might be looking to use that financial service, and rather than just saying, this is what we do, ring us here, which a lot of people get wrong. But that's something we'll go over anyway. So at the moment, your existing inquiries are just coming from sort of word of mouth, are they? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned you had one introducer, did you say?
So I've got, I suppose officially I've got two introducers, but they're very low volume. So one has only ever given me 2 cases, and one they've given me about 5 or 6 over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I've got introducers for general mortgage business, but not equity release. So it's just again, I did have some more introducers, but they're now fallen away.
Yeah. And was he any sort of a financial agreement between you and them, or was it just like a goodwill?
Yeah, the introducers I've got at the moment, they're both mortgage brokers that don't do equity release, so they want 30% off the fee doing nothing.
Right. Okay. They want 30% of the proc fee.
Yeah, because I pay them, but it hurts.
Yeah, bloody hell, that's a lot. That so other agreements I've seen with people, they offer them less than 1%. So yeah, in some cases. So yeah. And as of right now, then, are you sort of comfortable relying on this way of getting new business, or?
Well, not really, because it's not really working, is it? It's not, only substantial amount, so it's just, got 5 other angles.
Yeah. Okay. And do you know what sort of figure will be you comfortable with to pay to get a new customer for X2 release? Because I've got a figure of what it would roughly cost using Facebook. Do you have a sort of figure what it'd be for you? Because in terms of how many you convert out the people you speak to, you see.
Yeah, it's gonna be based on that, isn't it? I don't mind investing some money as long as it's going to return some money. So I've got a healthy bank account, so
yeah,
we've got, as long as I believe it's going to go somewhere, we've got the money to fund a campaign, as it were.
Yeah, no, of course. But
and we're not key or one of these big companies that can spend a fortune on stuff. So I know when I was talking to the guy building a website, he seemed to think that the equities market was just dominated by the big players. There's a handful of big companies that
Well, I'm the guy who helps them build them ads, so I can tell you about that. So,
Yeah,
yeah, so key and things like that, they
yeah,
dominate the Google market, so Google
yeah,
ads. Which this is why I love Facebook compared to Google, because with Google, it's very much whoever's got the most money, they're going to give the most results to, and it can be very
yeah.
expensive because if you think of it this way, you're on Google, you're competing for the top 3% of people that are actively searching, I want equity release, where can I get equity release? So they're expensive to get them customers. Whereas on Facebook, you're sort of targeting the other 97% of the market that not necessarily actively looking for equity release right now, but they're problem aware, they've got a problem, and you're putting that solution in front of them. So you're getting them clients a lot cheaper in it, a much higher volume, and there's virtually no competition because I think it's Life are the only company that run Facebook ads out of that sort of group, and they're terrible. They are terrible. I'm not in charge of them ones, so I'm not taking responsibility for them. So yeah, it's an absolute, there's low hanging fruit in the market to be grabbed with Facebook for equity release leads. Because people are scared to touch it as well, because you can very easily get banned on Facebook for saying the wrong thing. So I don't blame them. But when you know what you're doing, you can absolutely clean up with it. So yeah, in terms of that, then what I would suggest, if you're sort of looking to get, should we say 10 to 20 clients a month, on the high end, we roughly might be paying initially £60 a lead for that. However, my role of job would be to get this lower and lower and lower, and also increase the quality of the leads as well. What I would suggest doing would be to put some sort of equity release, sorry, not equity, LTV calculator on your website. So what I would do, I'd build the ad out for you. I write all the ad copy, provide all the pictures. I would need some input from yourself as well in terms of what I like to do is have possibly a video of yourself talking about the product, doing some myth busting, at your desk or whatever. Maybe if you've got a past client that might be wanting to talk on camera, maybe we get a video of them as well. That can work well as an ad angle. However, I will be testing all multiple angles that I don't need your input for all of them if you didn't want to. So yeah, we'd have the ad on Facebook. That the call to action of the ad would not be, ring us now initially. It would be find out how much equity you can release from your property. So we redirect them to the website. They fill in the lead form, and in exchange for their details, they get to find out how much they could potentially release. And then that lead would then be, put into your inbox or however you'd like to handle it. Also, I like to do this because we're going to be getting such a high volume of people interacting with the ad that I want to pre-qualify them for you before you even speak to them. So the reason for that is on the sort of lead form where the LTV calculator will be, we can ask them all the question: are you a homeowner? Who's the youngest on the property? Any existing mortgage left? So you can look at that information before you even take a call with them. So that'd be the way to qualify them. However, on top of that as well, so if you were looking to get results a bit quicker before you've had this calculator built, which, a web designer should be able to do it in a day for you, if that, we will test it to run it to a phone call as well. But the thing with this is we do see quality of leads drop slightly, because, we can't initially pre-qualify them with a few questions because they're going to see the ad and it's going to go to a phone call. So they're the sort of two ways we can look at it as well. How would you be sort of looking to follow up with them leads? Would you want them to ring you or you to ring them?
I can do either, really. I've always sort of had the belief that it's more effective if you ring them in terms of, people just don't do things, do they? Don't, but they'll take a call because,
Yeah.
So,
No,
so
that's what I
I'm more
think.
than comfortable, ringing them.
Yeah.
I haven't got any issues with that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So roughly we do the maths on that then. So say we get initially, say we get them for around £60 a lead, and you're sort of looking for that. To say we start with an initial budget of £1,000 a month in ad spend. So get us 16 leads, and say we roughly convert, maybe 50 to 60% of them initially. I like to be very safe with the figures as well. I don't want to, I like to be quite stingent with them. Yeah, so off £1,000 ad spend, we could roughly potentially get 8 cases off that. So that'd be £1,000 a month, and that would be a good ballpark to start with. Is that something you think you could do?
Yeah, I could definitely do that.
Yeah.
As long as, obviously my concern is I'm spending £1,000 a month and nothing pans out, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Having been, I've been around a while and been sold. I appreciate you're not selling me, so I contact you, but having spent 12 grand, I think, one year in Yellow Pages before it all went online and getting next to nothing out of it. I'm very aware with it, anything to do with sales marketing. It's a very unopaque industry,
Well, that's right. That's literally why I started my company, because I'm sick. I've done so much corporate work, and I go in and they show me to their existing marketing team, and I'm like, what are you paying these guys for? There's no way to track how effective what they're doing is. There's no return on investment from this type of advertising. So that's why I love Facebook, because we're tracking down to every single penny, how effective that ad is, every word in the ad, what the picture is. We test different things, and we only focus on ROI. We're not interested in vanity metrics such as, page followers or how many people have liked this post. All that matters is how many leads has that got us, how many have we converted, for what ad spend have we spent. So that's all we focus on, really, ROI with that. And just to address your concern as well, so it's continual. So you would never pay, as you said with the Yellow Pages, 12 grand at once. You'd spend that £1,000 spread out over a month, and you'd be able to in real time see the leads coming in. So you could assess at the end of the month and think, well, I've either got this many leads or I haven't. I'm going to cut it there.
So what you're saying is 10 days of the month I spent 300 quid, and whilst the first month might not be the best one, certainly for the second or third month, you're going to start to see whether
exactly
£300 is going anywhere.
Exactly.
Again, nothing difficult there. They must come in clusters, always.
Exactly. I've seen a client of mine the other day, actually. This is not exactly typical, because they do have quite, not that your website's going to be perfect for it, but they've spent quite a bit on their website. But they've got 4 cases of £400 in ad spend, which they're on a similar proc fee to you, so you can think of the return on investment on that. So they made roughly like 7.5 grand, maybe slightly more, off £400, which is, it's not typical, but that's where you can take it in some cases with this. And it's just about gaining consistency as well, because if we get it to a point with these ads and we know every time we spend £60 that gets us a lead, then we can consistently generate that on demand, rather than sort of relying on ex-customers, referrers and stuff, which we really have no control over, do we? So it's just a way about putting control and growth for the business back into your hands as well. That's what I would suggest. Initial budget £1,000 a month. If you did want us to do this for you, we do charge £1,000 retainer a month, which there's no contract for that as well, because we like to show you results before you tie into anything. That's what I would sort of suggest with that.
So you're looking at £2,000 a month then?
Yes. And at the end of the day, say for example, you spend 2,000 in total, and it gets you 8 cases. Roughly, would you say around £2,500 a case in commission, roughly? Or
varies, doesn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what, 3%? That's what the average is.
Yeah, so potentially you could spend 2 grand to make upwards of 17 grand in the best case scenario in revenue, of course, with but so that's where you look at it. It is a huge return on investment at the end of the day. It's not sunk costs like any other sort of form of advertising, where you don't really know how it's going to work, because we're seeing results in real time. Leads will be coming through daily, essentially. So what are your thoughts on that then?
I think if it works, it sounds good. A bit skeptical.
It does, doesn't it? It sounds good if it works. No, but to be honest, I can say that.
At the end of the day, £2,000 is a lot of money, but £2,000, like you say, isn't if you get 8 leads off it, which convert, or we get 16 leads and convert 8 of them.
Yeah.
And if you earn £2,000 a lead, that's £16,000. So it's a nice return on investment.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it. And introduce a 30% or 25% or whatever they want to pay.
Yeah. It's more about the consistency as well, because as you said as well, the ads do get better and better. There's something we can't initially on our end affect, is the conversion rate, because that's obviously up to you. But we can increase quality of leads over time, and we can also increase volume and scale that up if you're even looking to take that further. And that's all part of our job, to constantly testing new angles, different audiences, and also when you're ready, scaling them ads up for you, so increasing the volume of them.
Okay.
But is that something you'd be looking to go forward with?
Yeah.
So initially, what I would like to do with your Facebook page as well, I was having a look before. I would like to a picture of you, possibly as the profile picture, because what I found works well with this demographic is they like to put a face to the name. So the sort of plan of action would be, I would need to get access to your Facebook page, which we'll do. I'll build your ad account for you, and then set that up and start running the first ad within I'd say it roughly take me about a week to get the first ad up. What can you do in terms of the calculator? Are you still in contact with the web designer?
Yeah. He spoke to him last week, and we've agreed that he's gonna get his arse in gear and get
Yeah.
get the X release page built, which hasn't been built, I don't think, on the website.
The thing is, as well, it can be so simple, the X release page, because if you think about it as well, even a lot of these old people are viewing it on their mobile. So, just a few paragraphs, what it's used for, myths around it. And then we have the calculator as well. So just nice, big, sort of easy to read text, not too heavy on text, loads of pictures or anything like that. Just the one page with all the information on is enough. But as well, if you need me to guide the web designer, I'll be happy to do that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be handy if you could. Have you got a pre-built calculator that you can sort of plug into?
I might have one for you actually. But the only thing is, depending on how your website's built, it might need to be totally readjusted. So it has to be sort of custom to each website. But I do have a template that I can give to the web designer, and he might be able to adjust it from there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But what I'll do for you anyway, I'll make a short video tonight, and I'll probably get it to you by tomorrow of what was sort of the plan of action of what we need to do. And then we can move on from there if you want.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Lovely. No worries. Let me know if you have any questions in the meantime, and I'll get that over to you by tomorrow. It'll be.
Okay, great. All right.
Yeah. Have you got any more questions for me? Or?
I don't think so. No, really. I think just sort of told me what I need to know. Really, is what can we do? How much is it going to cost?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking for. Really, a credible plan to move the market properly.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, no worries. Well, we'll be in touch.
Okay, great.
No worries. You take care.
And you, cheers.